I woke to my phone, buzz at 4:03 a.m. Still half asleep, I groped for it on the nightstand, blinking the sleep out of my eyes. One unread message stared up at me. It was from my wife, Anna. I'm at a hotel with my ex. Come and pick me up. My chest tightened. At first I convinced myself it was some cruel joke, a wrong number, a prank. But the name on the screen was hers, plain and real. The room felt suddenly colder, silence pressing in. My heart raced the way it does when your body senses something your mind won't accept. I read the message over and over, searching for another meaning. There wasn't one. I dressed in a blur, jeans, hoodie, keys, and drove out. The streets were empty, lit by the sickly glow of streetlights, every turn heavy. My head buzzed with questions. Why would she send that? Why would she be there? A part of me wanted to chalk it up to a mistake. Too much to drink, bad choices, the wrong company. But I knew people don't accidentally end up in hotel rooms with their exes at 4 a.m. By the time I pulled into the rundown motel she'd dropped a pin for, my hand shook on the wheel. She was standing by the entrance, wrapped in her coat against the cold, hair tousled, mascara running. She looked small and ashamed. When she saw me, she hurried to the car and slid into the passenger seat without a word. The silence between us felt unbearable. Finally I asked, my voice rough, "Why?" She swallowed and stared at her hands. It was a mistake. I laughed, a sharp, bitter sound. A mistake. You text me at 4 a.m. from a hotel with your ex, and that's all you have? Tears formed in her eyes, but I had none to give. I don't even know why I went, she stammered. He messaged me a few days ago, and I thought I needed closure. Closure. I thought of the hotel bed, the clock, and laughed again inwardly. Closure doesn't happen at 4 a.m. in a stranger's parking lot. Her face fell apart, and I couldn't stop myself. Words came out harsh and unrelenting. How long? How many times? This was the first time, she whispered, barely audible. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But trust isn't rebuilt with a text like that. The drive home suffocated me. She stared out the window and cried, quietly while I gripped the wheel until my knuckles blanched. Eventually she pleaded, "Please don't give up on us. I don't love him. I love you." I let out a humorless bark of a laugh. You love me? Is that what love looks like? Sneaking off at night, coming home smelling like someone else. Her sobs rose, but my heart had already hardened. When we got back, I shut myself in the guest room and didn't speak. She followed, begging, but I couldn't hear her then. The next morning made everything worse. Watching her move around the kitchen like nothing had happened was unbearable. I forced the words out. "Anna, I want the truth. All of it. If you lie to me now, we're done." She froze, then admitted they'd been texting for weeks. At first innocent, then increasingly intimate. She said she didn't tell me because she didn't want to upset me. Then he suggested meeting. She told herself it would be harmless. One drink led to another, one touch to more. She swore she stopped before it went further. Her eyes said otherwise. "You still made a choice," I said softly. "Every step of the way you chose him." Days blurred. I went to work, but my mind wasn't there. Nights were worse. Staring at the ceiling, replaying the text, her face in the motel glow. She tried to patch things. Cooking my favorites, leaving notes, long apologies. None of it changed the fact that apologies don't erase betrayal. Worse was how she made me into someone I didn't recognize. Paranoid, hollow, waiting for a phone to buzz with a dread that knotted my stomach every time it did. About 2 weeks after the motel, she sat across from me at dinner, hands clasped, begging, "Can't we start over? We've built so much. I made a mistake, but can't we fight for us?" I looked at the woman I'd once promised forever to and replied, slow and cold, "You want me to fight? You had 100 chances to fight for us. When he messaged you, when you agreed to meet, when you got dressed, when you drove there, when you walked into that hotel. Every time you chose him." She began to cry, but I couldn't change course. I don't know how to love someone I can't trust. I said, "Right now, I can't trust you." The silence that followed was crushing. That night, I started divorce papers. I didn't tell her right away, but putting it down on paper felt like reclaiming a part of myself. A week later, I handed them to her. She broke down, collapsing onto the couch, sobbing. "I thought you'd forgive me," she whispered. I shook my head, my voice strange and distant. "Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and I'll never forget that text." She begged for therapy, pleaded for another chance, promised everything. I was done. Months went by. The papers were signed. The house grew quieter, emptier, lonelier at times than I cared to admit. And yet I felt free. Free of the constant suspicion, the late-night dread, the knowledge that the person beside me had been living a double life. Sometimes I still wake at 4 a.m., heart racing, the memory of that message sharp. But the anger has softened into clarity. Her betrayal broke me and rebuilt me. Stronger, wiser, less naive. If there's one thing I'm certain of now, it's this: love without trust isn't love at all.